going to start by asking what may sound like a very strange question, and I will invite 3 answers, hopefully from young people. And the question is, are you a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes, you are a believer.
Well, yes, I think so.
No, either you know or you think so.
Yeah, I know.
You are a believer. What's the proof?
There's multiple things but one of the strongest is just like having faith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I think.
So
Just like believing it.
you are a good believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Another answer? Yes. Are you a believer in Allah? What's the proof? What's the proof that you have faith in Allah? By believing in Allah as the best of plans. Okay. One more answer. Yes.
Because there's a lot of proofs in the Quran about Allah.
There are lots of proofs in the Quran, and mashallah, you read the Quran and you know that Allah is there, so you believe in Allah. Okay. Now, this same question was asked of a man that was known during his life as a scholar, as a person who used to teach others about Islam. One day he was sitting with the people around him, and somebody wanted to put him on the spot. So he said to him, "Hal anta mu'min?" Are you a believer? His name was El-Kassem al-Basri. Now, Al-Hasan al-Basri did not get upset. Somebody from the circle of knowledge around him, looking at him, he's being the teacher, and saying, "Are you a believer? Hal anta mu'min?" He did not get upset. He said, "If you really mean whether I am a believer because I believe in the 6 pillars of Iman, which are believing in Allah and His angels and His messengers and all His revealed books, and in the last day of judgment, and in al-qada wal-qadar, fate, these 6, then wallahi I'm a believer. Because I believe in all of these. But if you mean whether I fit the description of the first ayat of Surah Al-Anfal, I'm not so sure. And those ayat to remind us with, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us at the beginning of Surah Al-Anfal, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, and in Arabic when you say إِنَّمَا, it means verily. Don't go far from here. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. 5. أولئك هم المؤمنون حقا لهم درجات عند ربهم ومغفرة ورزق كريم. Meaning, verily, true believers are those. So let us all have this test and remember those 5 tests and check when we go home and when we live the rest of our lives. Do we fit this description? الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned in front of them, their hearts tremble. Whenever, they are told, Allah said this, Allah said don't do that, Allah said this is halal, Allah said this is haram, whenever Allah is mentioned, their hearts tremble. And whenever the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are recited before them, their iman starts to grow, because these are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. They do not get disturbed from anything, because they only give their affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They only depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't say, no, this is the end of my life. Don't say that. True believers don't say that, because their affairs are in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings forth, they take it, because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. You know, we find this iqamat as-salat everywhere in the Quran. That those who establish salat in their lives, they do not only perform salat, they establish salat in their lives. يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. And finally, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Now, notice it didn't say whatever we have given them, they spend on their families, on themselves, on their children. No. It says they spend. They spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And especially these days, there are many channels that are waiting for us to spend therein, because there are many needy people all over the world who are waiting for us. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to live those 5 descriptions and be mu'minuna haqqa. You know, haqqa means truly good believers. Ameen ya Allah.